Yo, yo, yo.
Yo,
What's going on, guys?
what's going on, everybody? It's James. We back with the flight show, second episode. Sorry for the delay. We just been busy, handling business like we normally do. But we back. You know, tonight we gonna tap in on just business aspects, how to run a vintage clothing business.
Yeah, let's get
Everybody's
into it.
reselling right now. You know what I mean? And that's what we need to tap into. We want to talk about it. We want to hear about it. So, what you think? What's going on, Tyler?
None, man. I've been seeing all these vintage pages and stuff like that. People in the game, seeing everything, basically. Same old, same old. But I'm going to ask you the first question is, what are the beginning steps of having a vintage resale business? What your steps will be? Or, like stuff
So,
like
I mean, starting a vintage, clothing resale business, I think it depends on if you're selling on a platform, if you're doing, shows. It depends on how you want to jump in. But I mean, first get established with, your social media page, Instagram, TikTok, all your social media platforms. Get that set up first,
Okay.
and then I think just jump into if you want to do it full time or as a legitimate business. Get a LLC um, or a S corp. You know what I mean? Just depending
Yeah.
on whatever fits what you're trying to do, and then I mean go from there.
Okay.
Flea markets is a good way to start. Goodwill, Salvation Army, just little things like that.
Work your ground level stuff, you would say.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, start in your closet. You may have
Yeah,
some stuff
that's true.
that you didn't know you had. Get on eBay, Depop, Grailed, Etsy, Poshmark, all these platforms, and just start typing stuff up, looking stuff up, kind of learning prices and price ranges, and how much certain pieces go for, what stuff goes for, and then I mean I think that's like step one. You know
Okay.
what I mean?
Let me ask you this before you get into your second step. Would you say having, like you said, mentioning on depending if you're reselling only online, only doing shows, a brick and mortar, do you think that change in the business affects everything? Would you say like that location? Would you say?
I mean, it depends. It depends on what you want to do. If you're starting off, part time, if you're in school or you have a part time job and you want to do this as like a side hustle, it just depends on
Like your lifestyle.
yeah, your lifestyle,
I got you.
how you want to get into it and what you're looking to get out of it. I mean, if you're doing it part time or you're in school, then I mean, like I said, research as much as possible online is going to be your best friend. Stopping in Salvation Armies and thrift shops and tag sales and estate sales and all those types of things, and just buying little things, buy one piece, two pieces, go from there, and kind of just work your way up. Like I said, start with your closet as well.
Yeah, of course.
And then I mean, if you're trying to go full time or you're trying to dive in, seriously with it, then definitely do those things times 10, to be honest, and definitely just network. People on Instagram, there's tons of vintage pages now.
There's
like
thousands now.
thousands now. Everybody's selling vintage.
There's YouTube channels and stuff like that.
Exactly. So it's all types of exposure for the market, and it's definitely easy to just tap in with that and find some gems, learn a little bit more about the game in general,
Learn your history.
and then just go from there. So it just depends on your approach, how you want to get into it.
Yeah, the only reason I mentioned that just because it hit me because we travel all the time. We go to these different shows and network with different people that, I got the opportunity to see other people, how they run their vintage business. Because we've met people, you're good friends with people that, only do shows or only do online. So it's cool to see that different perspective.
Yeah, I think you try a little bit of everything and find, what works for you. When we started, we started part time, and we actually were working two jobs and doing this on the weekends.
It's a grind.
Yeah, and I mean, we just only had time. We didn't even really have time to source. We just only really had time for the flea markets on Sundays.
Okay.
We've been doing the flea markets and eBay, buying on eBay, selling on eBay, Poshmark, Depop, all those platforms, like just selling stuff on there, and then kind of learning what you like, learning your style. Because within vintage, depending on however you want to sell, everybody has different styles.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
You get your own
Everybody has
swag to your
different
thing.
styles, so it just kind of depends on what you're into. But you find your style, you buy pieces that's within your style,
Mm-hmm.
study pieces that's within your style, and then learn how to expand your collection and go from there.
Exactly. And differentiate yourself. Everyone has their own type of swag, how they spin off their type of
Yeah.
business and stuff like that. Back to the first question I talked about earlier today, though. You said your second basic step would be what? Starting at the beginning. We got the first one, and then let's go back to the second one you were
Yeah,
going to
so the
mention.
second basic step, I mean, get a business PayPal,
Mm.
get a business Cash App, get a business account in general, even get a credit card account. It
Okay.
just depends on how you want to tap into it. But yeah, do that. Get your back end stuff in order.
Right.
If you're doing it part time, make sure you're recording everything for tax purposes and stuff like that, so you can get write offs and expenses. Just get your back end stuff in order first. Learn about the back end stuff, and then get all that in order before you even really start buying and selling stuff. To be honest.
I got you. Okay. Word. That's what's up. I mean, it's out. It's all out there. It's
Yeah.
all like all the methods and stuff like that. It's all out there. Just depend how you go about it with the certain things. What'd be your third basic step for beginning of a vintage resale shop?
The third basic step would probably be hop right into marketing. You know what I
Okay.
mean? How are you going to market? How are you going to, attract others to your page, to your pieces? How can people find you? Where can people find your stuff? Do you cross post? Do you post on multiple, platforms? Do you only post on Instagram? Do you only sell at the flea market? So, kind of mold yourself into whatever your style and how you want to run and operate your business, and then learn and start putting out content to expose yourself to everybody else so people can find you
Okay.
and learn about you, you know what I mean, and what you got going on.
Okay. Word. That's what's up. I mean, since we talked all about that, this would be another question to, put the icing on cake for it. How would you like source this type of funding to, dabble into events or doing online and, splitting the time between school and work and then having the source for your business? Where does the source contact part come into play?
So I mean, when you get into sourcing, obviously you don't necessarily have to have a set budget. Again, it depends on your situation. So if you're already working a part-time job and you already have a source of income and this is something secondary, then create a budget. I want to spend $50 a week or $100 a week on inventory, and work from there. Or I want to buy 10 pieces a week, 20 pieces a week.
I got
You know
you.
what I mean? And start from there.
Yeah, pace yourself.
Exactly. You start from there, but definitely that's the way you can tap in if you already have a source of income.
I got you.
Other ways you can tap in is, like I said, start in your closet. Maybe sell a couple pair of old shoes that you're not wearing no more. Scrounge up $100, $200, $300, and start with that. You know what I mean? You can get a business credit card. Like I said, get your back end stuff in order first. Tax
Like, credit is
paperwork.
important.
Oh yeah, that's everything. Tax paperwork, all your license and everything that you got to have in whatever state you're in. Make sure all the back end paperwork is proper and
course.
got everything in order. Make sure you have an accountant and things like that, and go from there. But like I was saying, get a business credit card. You can get a business credit card. Let's say you get approved for $1,000. You know what I mean? You don't have any real other income, so getting a credit card would be beneficial for your first step into getting funding for your business.
Plus building your credit on top of that.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then you take that $1,000, you cash advance it, take out the money physically, and go to flea markets, go to shows, start buying like that. All right, cool. I got this credit card. I'm gonna spend $1,000, and then whatever you make, you pay the credit card off.
Okay.
And then you do the next thing the next month. And obviously, as you know, with credit cards, you get increases. So you may start with 1,000 and then go to 5,000 and then go to 10,000. You know what I mean? And use the credit as your cash flow. You know what I mean, to source and kind of fund the business if you're starting from nowhere with no type of cash flow.
Okay, I got you.
You know what I mean? So those are the two things. Those are the 2 or 3 things that I would do, or look into doing to start as far as getting funding. So
Gotcha. Okay, that's what's up. Um, Another thing I'd ask you would be, how would you, so like you said in the first question, how everyone has their own type of style in their business, whatever your type of swag is, your style, all the other type of stuff. How would you differentiate or market yourself on a different way to on this business, would you say? So like if I just came into the business, I got the capital, but I just don't know how to, put myself out there. What would be your way of marketing or great marketing?
again, tap into whatever your style is. So if let's say you're into you're into like 60s military stuff,
Okay.
right? Maybe take a lot of outdoorsy pictures of your product. Maybe take pictures and post content that relate to military, to the clothing.
Mm,
Go to those type of destinations.
mm.
Different things like that is one way you could tap in. And then just putting out content in general. I think a lot of people overthink content. Post your product.
Oh,
If you
yeah.
go to the thrift and you got 10 tees, post them.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe post them individually. Highlight them.
I definitely say, not to cut you off, definitely say posting content is probably like one of the biggest things.
Yeah, nah, definitely, for sure. People try to map out and um, figure out the perfect way to post content. It's just do it.
Just consistency. Of
Just pick up
exactly.
your phone and do it. Whether it's vlogging, YouTube, whatever. Find your style. If it works, you getting traction, you getting engagement. Keep going. Switch
Mm-hmm.
it up. Don't post the same way. Don't post the same things.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Post, around current events. If you got some sports tees and the Yankees is in the playoffs or the Yankees is winning, post it during baseball season.
Got
You
you.
know what I mean? Different things like that. Just kind of be creative
Mm.
and, start there. But you can do anything with your iPhone. So, use
That's
your
true.
iPhone, use YouTube, just use everything.
Okay. I like that. Basically, so when you guys started your style for Flight Vintage, what was your, what were your guides or what ways did you do to market yourself on a different, I would say, not level, but different frequency as other people?
We just posted product.
Gotcha.
We just were consistent about posting product every day. We would get product in, we would get product washed, steam, ready to present, to be sold, and we would post. So whatever product we got in, we try to get it posted same day, if not the next day.
Mm.
And we try to post product every day. That was at the beginning. And then we started, pushing like more of the lifestyle. So
Okay.
we started doing shows. So we would post like content when we travel to other cities.
Mm-hmm.
We would do YouTube recaps on different shows that we did in different cities, stuff like that. Buyouts that we've done, flea markets that we've gone to, different shows, and we would just post content like that. Like if we go to a show and you get 100 T-shirts, do a clip of 100 tees that you just got, brand new inventory from such
Okay.
and such. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
kind of figure it out in your own way. You know what I mean? I think, like I said, don't overthink it.
Mm.
Don't overthink it. Just post.
Just be
Post
yourself.
The content. Yeah. Just
That too.
keep putting the content out there, and I would say try to make sure you're tapping into all platforms. Don't just post on one platform. Post on all
All
of them.
social medias.
All social
The
media.
internet's free.
Yeah.
If you think
All
about it.
social media. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. You know what I'm saying? And nowadays a lot of people is tapping into like Patreon,
Oh, yeah.
OnlyFans.
Reddit.
There's positive ways to use OnlyFans.
Oh, yeah,
if you
of
didn't
course.
know that. You
Nah,
know what
I knew that.
Yeah, there's
I
positive
definitely knew
there's
that.
positive ways to use OnlyFans. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So different stuff like that, and figure out. You got different apps, network app, whatnot app. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Goodwill's coming out with a new app
Wait,
now.
what? They are?
Yeah, so it's all types of stuff that you could
That's
that
wild.
you could tap into, but definitely try to be versatile on your style and what you put your content out on.
That's crazy. Google's dropping an app now. What are you going to be able to do in that thing, you think?
I'm not sure. I think they trying to set it up kind of like eBay and Depop.
That'd be insane.
Yeah, so just another selling platform. But that's another reason why we'll tap into it in a second. Why sourcing is important, because
Yeah.
Goodwill and Salvation Army and all these places, they're tapped into vintage and they know it's popping.
Yeah.
So they're gonna start pulling stuff or upcharging stuff. Like if you go to the thrift,
Mhm.
you know, you've been thrifting for some time now. You know
Oh yeah.
that you
It,
know, $2 versus $25 for the same type of T-shirt.
exactly.
The increase has been crazy on the shirts and stuff like that in the thrift.
It's
It's
it's an,
wild.
it's crazy to see because when you guys started doing the Goodwills and the Salvation Armies, I was younger, and I used to see like the stuff you just be sitting there and like the prices wasn't crazy because it's Salvation, Goodwill, whatever. But
Yeah.
now when I go in there, it's like they're charging like special things are like $30, $40, and it's like it's insane to think a corporation is like controlling that type of inventory based off of what's going on in the current like generation with like vintage and stuff like that.
Yeah, nah, definitely. I mean, like I said, vintage, not even just vintage, thrifting in general
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
is what's popular right now. It doesn't it depends, like there's all types of styles. You could thrift designer, you could thrift, everything. It doesn't have to just be vintage, but just thrifting in general, secondhand clothing, used clothing
Hmm.
is popular.
Yeah.
And it's
Oh yeah.
popping right now and everybody's
It's helping
tapping
the
in.
planet. All that.
Yeah, everybody's tapping in. So sourcing is big also. You know what I mean? There's all
Yeah.
types of different ways you could source.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? You got your thrifts, you got your
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 apps, your
Goodwills,
Dpops,
yep,
eBays.
flea markets, estate sales.
Hmm.
You got OfferUp, Let Go,
There's a
Craigslist.
lot of buying applications out there.
There's all types of places that you could research to find inventory, warehouses, rag houses, everything. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So, like I said, you start where you feel comfortable at. If you have funding, you know what I mean, jump right in. You know what I mean? I honestly, let me take that back. I don't think you should jump right in.
I say
I
you gotta
honestly think
learn and understand the
definitely,
game first for like a first like time and period. Understand it, respect it, and then once you go from there, it's like keep going, stuff like that.
definitely get in, learn the game, learn the style.
Hmm.
Learn the style. Vintage and reselling is a business in itself, but you gotta create a style that works for you.
Yeah,
Everybody trying to copy and do the same thing everybody else is doing.
you gotta put your own swag onto it.
You gotta have your own swag.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? There's like you said, thousands of vintage clothing Instagrams
Oh yeah,
and social medias. And it's like if people don't switch it up or people don't find their style,
it's like
then
what's gonna differentiate you charging me $50 for this shirt when the guy on the other app is charging me 25.
exactly,
So
you
it's
got
like
that's a point also. You know what I mean?
you know
Who you decide to buy from because everybody has T-shirts and everybody's reselling
exactly. I
now.
definitely noticed that like the price game has not changed in the fact, but the perspective of it, just because like we were talking about, like there's mad other users out there and applications that already do the thrifting and the buying. So
Yeah,
it's
there's
crazy to
there's
think
all
that.
types, but that's what goes into that goes back into what is your style.
Exactly.
You
What
know,
keeps you different from them?
yeah, your style and how you promote and market, your brand and your resale page, what you got going on is what's gonna lead to people shopping with you regularly.
That's what's up. So since we were talking all about that, um, one of the biggest investments you do into a business is time. So I'd say we can go on top of that topic. What is your perspective difference on going part time into this business or full time? What's your pros, your cons? What would you say is like that?
Okay, so if you're gonna do part time, like I said, the best thing is research and studying and learning, absorbing, going to flea markets, going to shows, come to a shop like Flight. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Look at the pieces, ask. That's what we here for. Also, you know what I mean? We're teachers, we're students, we're learning, ourselves every day.
Of course,
So
it's
we
life.
like we like to talk about everything that's in the shop. Everything has a story. All the pieces have a story. There's definitely tons of knowledge to be learned by just going into a, resale shop in your area, in your city.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And talking to the owners or talking to other people that shop there about what they like, what's cool, what's in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like with streetwear and sneakers, it's the same thing.
Oh yeah.
But, it's just applied to the vintage community.
Let me ask you this, since we're already on that kind of topic. When you guys started Flight Vintage, did you see it being like a part-time thing? Like, did it start as a part-time thing where you were still working, plus dishing the streets out with Vintage, or did you knew you were gonna jump into full-time?
So we started it part time. Like I said earlier, we both was working two jobs and reselling,
Mm.
and then it just came to a point where, we got addicted. We love what we do.
Of course.
Not even just making money. I mean, anything you put your time into and dedication, money will come. It's never about money, but just
Just do what you love.
just having fun.
Yeah.
Like to this day, we've been doing this 11 years now.
Sheesh.
To this day, still having fun.
Yeah.
Every
Life's
day
too
I'm having
short
fun.
to not have fun.
Yeah,
not to do
every
what you
day
wanna
I'm
do.
having fun with this. So, that's what led to us becoming full time with it.
Okay.
We was just having fun.
Mm.
And what we love to do and having fun, and then eventually financially money started being made.
Mhm.
So that made it kind of like a no-brainer.
It was just it was a double whammy. It was just great.
It's like we're having fun. We're doing what we love to do, and fortunately, we put in enough work to receive blessings financially.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So we talked about part time. Now, what would you say your full time aspect of it? What would you say what can really tighten your head on the business, make sure you can go forward in that full time position?
Yeah. So if you jump into it full time, or when you get to that point where you wanna jump in full time, um, jump all in.
Mm-hmm.
Do it 24 hours,
Mm.
7 days a week. Give it everything you have, because one, you got to survive. Now you've made
Yeah.
the decision that this is how I'm gonna survive and live.
Yeah.
I'm trying to live off of this. And then two, you know, it's a career choice. It's a, you know what I mean? You don't really want to jump into something full time and take it lightly.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I think just do that. But as long as you're having fun, honestly, that's the main part.
Exactly.
Don't do something that you don't enjoy.
Because if you're having fun with it, it's not gonna feel like a job.
Exactly. Like I said, we've been doing this for a while, and it still doesn't feel like a job.
Nah, I don't
You know
think
what I
it
mean?
ever
And
will.
it's just me and Amber operating the business.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, and it's still fun. And we fully operate the business. You know what I mean? We do everything from sourcing to running the shop to doing the shows. That's our style.
Mm-hmm.
We get back to talking about that. Like, that may not work for somebody else. You know what I mean? Or you may not have a partner, or a girlfriend, boyfriend, or whoever to run the business with you. So that may not be your situation. But like I said,
I say with that, when finding your style and with that type of thing, I'd say you look at the game, see how people do it, dabble from here to there, see what you like, or you could do your own spin on this and that, and then you can create your own style. If you're having a hard time thinking of it off the rip,
Yeah.
just because there's a bunch of other people in the same position, they're gonna do the same thing you're
Oh
doing.
yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I look at tons of vintage pages and
Yeah.
businesses every day. I look at all types, designer, sneakers, streetwear. I look at all types of pages on a day-to-day basis, and I don't necessarily copy anybody. Like I said, we have a style. I like to say we reference.
Okay.
I'll reference. I'll make a note like, oh, I like that, or I like how they did that, or I like how this person did that, and I'll do it or switch it or do it my way. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna post the same way as somebody
No.
else, or you know what I mean, do the same type of things. We try to switch it up. We try to do what we like to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And people received it. People have given us feedback. They like it, and that's kind of how we run and operate. Our business. Everybody gets into, oh yeah, well this page is posting like this, or this. Did you see this person's page and that person's page? It's
You gotta be
like,
focused on your business. You gotta be
Yeah.
focused on what's gonna help you.
yeah, it's
for
like
your
when,
business.
when you jump into this, do your thing, and I think it's important to reference and try to learn from people that have done it before you.
Oh no, yeah, of course. You
that-
gotta
if-
you
if
have to
that makes
respect.
sense.
You have to respect and understand the people that did this before you. There's no way of crossing that line and being like, oh, I know more than you just because I do the same thing as you. It's
Yeah,
like,
well, not even that. Just interact with those people.
yeah,
Because if somebody's doing something that you are doing or you enjoy doing, then hey, how did you get to this point? You're 10, 11 years in the game. How did you get to this point from day one? You know what I mean? A lot of business owners, a lot of people, entrepreneurs in general, they want that. They
Yeah.
want those questions. They want people, coming to them and
'cause that's
and
part of your networking.
that's how you learn. You could learn just as much as somebody can learn from me, I can learn from somebody
Of
else.
course.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like you got to look at it from both perspectives. I think a lot of people get in the game, whether it's sneakers, vintage, whatever,
Hmm.
clothing in general, get in the game and oh yeah, I'm gonna be this person and I'm gonna be oh yeah, my stuff is better than his stuff and
Okay.
it's like, bro, if I see somebody doing something right business wise because I'm in business and I know
Hmm.
what it takes and I do it full time, I'm gonna respect it
Mm.
and I'm gonna interact and engage and network. You know what I mean, and learn, take whatever I could take from that person and apply it to what I got going on.
That's what's up. Since I'm gonna ask the last question of the episode. It's gonna tie into basically everything. What would be your way of making profit off the business? We have already talked about sourcing, inventory, and prices. Would you say? But now, how would you say differentiating sourcing and now to making profit?
Yeah, so I mean, it goes back to the beginning where we were talking about having a budget.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, you have a certain amount of money you want to spend on inventory to resell, but I'm gonna go even deeper. You know, if you want, at least with clothing, now this is specifically for vintage clothing.
Mm-hmm.
It can be applied to sneakers and streetwear and designer clothing as well, but specifically vintage clothing. The more inventory you have, if you want to make 100,000,
Mm-hmm.
then you need to have 100,000 worth in inventory.
No, yeah, of course.
You get what I'm saying? So I think you know keep that mindset from the beginning where okay I want to make a certain amount. I want to make 2,000 a week, 3,000 a week, whatever. I want to make $1,000 a
Mm-hmm.
week. Make sure you have that times 2, 3 in inventory.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying?
I
You
got you.
know, so that part there. Hey, if I want to make $1,000 this week, I need to put out 1,000 or $2,000 worth of inventory on my site this week. That's what I gotta post. Or I need to post 100 T-shirts or 200 T-shirts this week to make that $1,000.
Okay.
You know
I
what I
never
mean?
thought of it as the inventory aspect as well.
Yeah,
I never
so
thought of it like that.
that's one part of it. That's kind of how that's kind of how we look at it a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
as far as making profit. The second part is obviously try to keep your expenses as low as possible
Of course.
because the less you dishing out, the more you
Take it
gonna
home.
make. You know what I mean? So, you know, sourcing. If you have a certain budget,
Mm-hmm.
maybe stick with that budget and try to increase the quality of what you're buying so
Okay.
that you can make, a little bit more money.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe instead of buying 100 pieces at one price, maybe buy 50 pieces, but they're 50 better
So
quality
upgrade
pieces.
the quality.
Yeah, so
Okay.
slowly increase the quality of what you're buying so that your margins will be a little bit different.
Mm.
That's another thing. And
I'd say one thing could be possibly too is just knowing more of your history of with vintage. So hypothetically saying like always keeping yourself like educated with this stuff is important. I'd say just because once you learn more, you understand more tees, you understand more pants and what the prices could be in the future for that item.
yeah, nah, definitely paying attention to the market is a way you can make profit, but it's really moving units too.
Oh no, yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? You can study and learn and digest the game and have all the knowledge, but it's still
It's like if you have
skill and
100,
science to move the units.
of course, because if you have 100 banger tees on a rack, that doesn't mean necessarily they're gonna fly out the rack just because you have them. You have to market
yeah,
yourself. You have to
definitely
sell
not.
yourself. So like that's what you're talking about. I agree 1,000% with you. Just because you gotta have a style of getting it out the door.
Yeah, definitely. That goes back to your marketing and your content and your style.
Your customer service, very important.
Yeah, definitely. Customer service, professionalism, you know what I mean? Just how you operate on business terms.
Yeah.
If you run in a business, run a business. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So those are other little pieces that factor into making profit also.
Okay.
And lastly, I would say on that topic is probably just, again, as you increase your inventory, as you grow your inventory to that, $1,000 worth of inventory, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000. Slowly increase your prices on your stuff.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Depending on with
Supply and
time,
demand type of thing.
exactly. With time, over time, you're acquiring, certain pieces, a certain amount of pieces. Time goes on. Year one, you may have only been able to sell this amount of pieces. Now you're in year two, you're in year three, of reselling. It's like, okay, hey, this is what I value my stuff at. You know what I mean? A lot of people, reference eBay and online platforms for pricing, which is cool. But eventually, as a business, as a brand, as having your own style, you can price your stuff for what you want. You know what I mean? Because it's a fair price point. You know what you paid for your inventory. You know what time and effort you put into the business. You know what I mean? To charge a certain price. So I think that as well, as you grow your business, kind of figure out what you want to sell your stuff for.
I got you.
For you, not necessarily off of profit. You get what I'm saying?
I got you, yeah.
So
that's dope. That's the one thing I like about vintage too, is just because it's so different from like designer, and I even say sometimes hype, is that vintage over time, it's still gonna get it's gonna get more and more worth just because it's getting older.
Yeah.
Type of thing. Like, designer doesn't really get better over time, and depending on the streetwear, it's not gonna really. It varies on certain like collabs, but like the base, like Supreme stuff like that, it's not gonna go crazy.
Yeah, and with vintage, like different stuff over time, increases value, but also different trends. Something that's out or popping right now may not be popping in 10 years, but another category of something else will be popping.
Like the cargo pants right now.
Yeah,
like Carhartt, Dickies.
Yeah, cargo pants, camo pants.
Yeah, those are really big.
You know what I mean? Oversized denim like Ed Hardy, Jinko, Paco jeans, all types of stuff. So I mean, just like I said, if you're growing your inventory, if you want to make $1 million, then you should have $1 million worth of inventory.
I respect that.
You know what I mean? I think that's one piece that everybody should stick with, is whatever. That's with whatever you're selling: sneakers, streetwear, vintage. You know what I mean? Designer. So
that's what's up, man. Just a good episode today. We learned a lot. We learned inventory matters, being yourself matters, loving the game matters, and a bunch of other gems we spit today. I appreciate you guys for watching.
Yeah, appreciate y'all. Thanks everybody for tapping in. Reach out to us. Let us know what you want us to touch on. A little bit more streetwear, vintage. What do y'all want us to talk about? Who do y'all want us to feature? Within the next couple episodes, we're going to start having guests on, and we're going to start tapping into their story, what they got going on, different businesses, different brands.
It's going to be fun.
So definitely reach out. Stay tuned. Appreciate y'all. Stay blessed.
Later.